What's up, people? This your boy Elijah. Welcome back to another edition of Humble Dad Podcast, episode 71. And we on the road to 100 to before the end of 2021. I got a special guest with me today. I've been following I guess I say not following, but I've met this young man some time back in a real estate group, and didn't know that we had some similarities. Being dads and being entrepreneurs, and just being individuals that want to change the legacy of our family. And so when I reached out to him, the first time he didn't have much time because he's busy, what I'm saying? But he was able to make time for us today, and we're going to learn a lot. So please tune in to none other than Mr. Raymond Gary. What's up? Or is it Ramon? You know what I'm saying?
Ramon, Gary.
Yeah, it's French. What's up? All right. Well, I appreciate you joining me today, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing close to spectacular, brother, man. Just appreciate you for allowing me to just be on this platform and share it with you, man. Hey, kudos, brother. I see you out there doing
I
big things.
appreciate that. That's what's up. So first question is, what do you say the difference is, or what do you think the difference is between a father and a dad?
I think the difference is, like probably a lot of people have already said, most people can be anybody can be a father, really. But I think a dad is someone who's a protector, someone who's a provider, maybe an advisor. It's funny how life can teach us a lot of things. So I definitely would say a dad was someone who kind of provides that education, that wisdom, their experience, and you want to pass that on to your kids, to even take them to the next level a lot faster than maybe you had to do. Um, and what I mean by provider, I don't think not necessarily just money, but providing that number one asset is your time. So I think
Whoa,
a dad should definitely be present, and there for your children.
that's good stuff. When you said, excuse me, you said the number one thing is time. Talk to me about why is that the number one thing?
Man, the number one thing, it has to be time, because a lot of people may think about money, but hey, if you can always come up with some things that you can do to make more money. But
Mm.
when time goes by, hey, that's it. You can't get your time back. So I think time is anyone's most valuable asset, because when it's gone, hey, you can't go back to the future like the movie. Hey, it's gone. You can't call them
That's
doc,
a,
say, "Doc, take them back." Hey.
yeah. Only in the movies.
Only in the movie, brother.
Yeah, man. That's good stuff. I remember when my wife passed away and we was at the funeral, and my daughter, she said, I see why God doesn't allow time machines. And she said, and I said, what?
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, because we would try to go back and mess up God's plan.
Oh, that's powerful there.
I said, so when you talk about time, you know what I mean? He's saying, listen, I gave you this amount of time. You got to go ahead and everybody got the same amount,
That's
different
it.
circumstances, different cars, but all the same time. So what you do with it is up to you, right? And so I thought about that. That's and when you said that, they brought up some things for me. Look who's watching.
Oh, what's up,
Look,
brother?
what's up, sir?
The man.
Yes, that's what's up, the man. He don't want us to say that though. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna say it anyway. Take me back when you was a youngster. Like, who was your father figure? Who did you look up to as a dad
Man,
or
I
a
grew up
father?
in a single family home. My brother and I, my mom did an excellent job of raising us. She worked 2 and 3 jobs all the time just to provide. Hey, put food on the table for us. Hey, I don't think we ever missed a beat. But I would say she played a big role. Definitely my family. I had a strong grandfather, so he stepped in. I had uncles. Just definitely my church family, and just
Okay.
leaders within the church. And then as a young person, hey, you always idolize your coaches and stuff, people that you look up to. So I would definitely say, hey, my mom's from the get go, my family, church family, and then just people throughout the community.
When would you say you needed the most mentoring from a man when you was growing up? What transition or part of life were you in? Would you say?
I would say those teenage years, when
Okay.
you just kind of find yourself, what kind of what road you gonna go down, what kind of
Mm.
people you wanna hang around, you want to be like. So I think you're very vulnerable throughout those teenage years, and it's just interesting how people can make choices just by being around those different people and just having that influence on you. So I would definitely see those. I'd probably say 10 to 18
Oh
uh,
wow. Okay.
is very vulnerable time.
Yeah, I would say you say 10 to 18. I would say like middle school
Yeah.
years. That could be 10,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would even say if you decide to go to college, like
Mm-hmm.
I would stretch it out to there because having freedom of time
Yeah.
is some it could be an enemy, right?
Right, definitely.
And and so if you can have somebody also to be a father figure to you, if it's not your dad, I think that would be helpful. Because I think for me, that's where I really needed the most guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because I had no idea of how to be by myself.
Right.
With all of these, I don't know, worldly things at my possession. But also I had God to be
Yeah,
able to go to as well. But I definitely chose the world. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So when do you remember? So you said your church family, you said your mom. So who was the man would you say that you remember the most that was instrumental in kind of giving you some guidance?
Probably my pastor, Pastor
Okay.
Holbrook. Like I said, I was just in that vulnerable time. He was our pastor at that time. He was just a dynamic leader. He was always attending our events and just involved in us and within the church, within the schools. He's just an icon in our community.
An icon. So yeah, you would if he is spending that type of time going to your events, what did that do for you?
It just encourages you, to see people out there. That it's not as they blood brothers and sisters, but of you of God. We're all brothers and sisters. Um, but just to see that, it just encourages you and lifts you up in all kind of ways. Um, kind of just touch back on what you were saying about those college years.
Yeah, yeah.
I never really thought about that, but as you mentioned that, it kind of made sense to me. So I was fortunate enough to play sports in college.
Okay.
So they were very strict on the athletes, which gave
They
me a
were.
lot of, it didn't give me a lot of leeway. I didn't
Right.
have a lot of free time. So everything was real structured for us. At this time, we even still, when we first went to breakfast, it started at breakfast. You had to be here at a certain time, all the way until your curfew at night. So
Wow.
throughout my whole college years, it was very structured. I never really thought about that because I always played sports versus somebody just going to school. And now you go to school at 8, but you're out at lunch and you got all this free time. And like I said, all these worldly things that kind of influence you. I'm glad you brought that up, and I never really thought about that. So hey, I definitely want to don't take that for granted. And when I'm maybe mentoring some other people that maybe
Yeah.
don't play sports, I'm glad you brought that up. I never really thought
Yeah.
about it because I
I
always played sports.
yeah, yeah. You all don't realize how spoiled you all are by having structure.
Right.
Isn't that interesting that people want so much freedom? However, you have to be mature to know what to do with your freedom,
Yeah.
right? And so as you go to, because I seen you post the basketball games
Hmm.
that you go to. Who is playing basketball that you're recording?
That's interesting. I don't have anybody there. I just love to go to the games right now.
That's what's up.
So my oldest
Okay.
son, he graduated a couple of years ago, but hey, me and my mom, we still go to all the games as much as we can, just to support the Golden Wave, man. We just love going and we enjoy it.
That's what's up, dude. Any of the players know who you all are?
Yeah, so like we have like some travel teams sometime in the summer that we
Okay.
usually play and do tournament ball and stuff like that. But I also played there, so I know a lot of the coaches there. So hey, I'm just trying to be there and support and do as much as we can to be a positive role model in the community.
That's what's up. Can you still hoop?
Oh yeah, we still play. We still play every Saturday right now. So at least one time
Yeah,
during the week. So maybe 2 or 3 times in a week we try to play.
that's
But
what's
at
up.
least once we get it in.
I haven't played in a while, bro. And I hate that because I enjoy playing basketball. One, because I know I can talk noise. You know
Right.
what I mean? Right, and I could, and it's not going to be fighting for the most part.
Right.
Not especially with us older folks, right?
Oh yeah.
But if it was off court and talking noise, then it's like a totally different thing. But
Yeah.
I have permission to talk noise to you because I'm on the court, right? And
Absolutely.
then just that competition, you know, that you have. So talk to me about your competitive spirit. Like, where did you get yours from?
Man, the Lord, I guess. He
Really?
gives us all different talents, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I definitely believe that he, kind of pushes athletes to be more competitive, not just for
Mhm.
winning games, but hey, we want to win souls for the Lord, right?
Okay.
I think that he kind of puts athletes up a little bit, um,
Hmm.
so that he can get all the credit. I think they should ask, where do you get all this? And hey, we got to point it back to him because that's who give us everything. So I
Mm.
definitely think he used athletes to to bring people together, and to bring people to Christ.
That's good because sports is really the equalizer,
Hmm.
regardless of what background you're from. If you can hoop, you getting picked. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? If you can play football, you getting picked.
Yeah.
It's that's a very good point. So walk me through, as you had your first kid, right?
Mhm.
Tell me about the day that you found out that you were going to be a father or a dad.
Man, it was super exciting. Um, it was scary that I was actually going to be responsible, from somebody. I don't take that role lightly. I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of responsibility. Um, but like I said, just super excited. Then we found out it was a boy, so I was even more excited. I had been praying a long time, and answers prayers. But
Really?
absolutely, absolutely. He gave us a son, but then we had the girl, and they even changed her life even more. So
100%.
it just he just keeps getting better. It's
That's what's up.
like a fine wine, right? It just keeps getting better.
Absolutely. Do you remember the day that any of your kids were born?
Oh yeah, I remember each
Talk
day.
to me about it.
I remember, man, you have everything planned out. Um, we had the car seat in the car. Man, when she said she was ready to go, hey, we already had the bags. We got there so fast, we had to wait when we get there. She was like, I'm here already. Like, okay.
Yeah. What we do now?
Yeah, what we do now. So it was definitely an exciting time. Hey, we had all the family come around and just much love and support for each other. And I definitely couldn't do it without my family friends.
That's what's up. So, do you have siblings?
I have one older brother.
Oh, okay. So, I think you may have mentioned that. So,
I have an older
what?
brother. He is 6 years older than me, so it's a little space in between us.
Oh, okay. So he probably was kind of. I don't know if he was if he was a brother like me, he wasn't a good brother. Like I tell I apologize to my siblings for not being a good big brother because
Yeah.
I was about myself. But what was your big brother like?
I definitely say he was a big brother. He was a protector. Um, he definitely beat me up all the time. So if you watch wrestling, he watched wrestling and then tried all the moves on me because I was smaller. And
That's
those,
hilarious.
those moves they really hurt. Just to let you know, they really hurt. They really
have
hurt.
you have you told him that?
Yes, he told me. He put me. Lex Luger put me in the torture rack. All that, man. The figure four. We've been through all.
What? That's crazy.
So
What age was
I
that?
definitely think I was tough because of him, and my it might be where I got my competitive edge.
Probably
Yeah,
so. Did
I
you
was
ever get to
always
a point that? Go ahead. I'm sorry. You
I
always.
was always a little bit smaller than him, but I definitely think it made me a lot tougher.
Oh wow. So how old were you when these wrestling moves were being put on you?
Oh man, anywhere from elementary school, probably let me say about 8 to 12, 13, man. Yeah.
Oh man, 4 5 years, bro.
elbows, all that, man. So he
that's
had
that's insane. Okay, that's
good
what's
stuff.
up.
It was good stuff, man. I think definitely think he was a great big brother. I can remember back. Hey, taught me how to tie my first tie. It's a lot of great memories between me and my brother. And a lot of love.
How do you tie your tie?
How do I tie my tie? Just a
Yeah,
regular little.
just regular.
Yeah,
Some people are kind of fancy with it.
I ain't got the big the knot yet. Nah, it's just
Yeah.
regular tie, man.
do
Ain't nothing fancy. Do people still
you,
wear ties now? Do you still wear a tie to church?
I don't. I don't wear a tie to
Yeah,
church,
I don't know. Special events. I mean, like I know
especially events. Maybe. Yeah.
probably like maybe about a month ago. I said I'm gonna wear a tie to church today. Man, I put the tie on. I'm like,
You
I
feel
don't
me?
even look right no more, man. I took it back off. You know, I was like, put the jacket on. We're going like this.
it don't.
I don't know.
It
It
don't feel right to be
don't even feel
to be
right.
professional.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, all because things have changed and
yeah,
how we see the world.
right.
It makes us uncomfortable because
Yeah.
that's not what's normal. No, that's that's crazy. But
I put it on. I took it back off though.
that's true though. That is very true. Do you know how to tie a bow tie?
And I tie a bow tie. I have
Okay.
to go back and I kind of watch a YouTube video because I don't do it that much, but
Okay.
I do wear a bow tie every now and then.
Yeah, my mom's on. She said Elijah used to wear a tie. I did. That you see, what is that? Is that the second word? You see what the second
You
word
used to wear,
is? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And a suit. I
and a
did.
suit.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I did. I did. Especially when I was working
Uh-huh.
in sales. They said like you had to wear a suit and tie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was in sales. But when you're your own business, you can wear
Hmm.
whatever you want. You know,
Man, that's it.
you matter of fact, I know this ain't nothing about being a dad, but I remember this guy that worked at this company that I was at. He was the owner,
Hmm.
and he would come in shorts in a polo shirt,
Yeah.
and we out there as salespeople in a student in a shirt and tie, and I'm like, why is how is it that the dude that owned the place
Right.
get to wear what he want to wear,
And
and I'm
y'all,
wearing like that was my thought process though,
yeah.
and now I'm like, oh, because it's his
I get
business. He
that,
can do
right.
it. I get it.
I'm the
He can
owner,
do it.
right.
Absolutely. And he can do it anytime he wants to. That's what's up. So what do you feel like growing up kind of led you to being a father or a dad? Or is there anything that you could kind of point to that got you prepared?
Um, I think you always, well, I can't say they. I think I've always wanted to be a father. Um,
Okay.
just try to be an example. Uh, just to I would say maybe just how to do things right, maybe to get another chance to teach somebody else the mistakes that I made and say, hey son, hey daughter, this is what I learned, what not to do. This is your chance to do it right. So I think
Mm.
it's kind of always the American dream, right? You go to school, go to college, you get married, then you start a family. I guess it's just kind of the natural process of what we're being pushed to.
Yeah, I would say for me, I I don't I would say working hard was
Hmm.
one of the things for sure, and then time management, kind of, and then when I say time management, I'm saying being able to recognize that you have to be a steward of your time and use it wisely, and so what I do to talk to my kids about now is about listen, you feel like you have all day to do your work, but you
Right.
don't. Like this time that you have, you need to use it wisely, because, like you said before, you're not going to get this time back. And as it relates to school, we homeschool. It's like if you go ahead and get this done, like you can go ahead and have the rest of your day to do what you want to do. I don't understand why you take it forever.
Just go
Like
ahead and knock it out, and you'll be done with it, right?
is it now my 12-year-old, she will, like, she gonna get it done. I don't have to watch her,
Uh-huh.
because she knows that I'm going to get a report at some point in time that
Right.
she wasn't prepared, and so she told me uh, that she likes to make sure she gets things done because she don't want to let me down.
Oh, that's
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
big.
She just told me that like last week or so. you
Yeah.
know. So with that, I think that it's important as a dad to definitely give them that structure,
Definitely.
right? Because the dad says, if two-parent household, you're setting the tone,
Mm-hmm.
right, of how things are going to operate in your house. And if you do not have the structure, your kids, we talked about freedom.
Right.
I give you case in point what I'm talking about
All right.
recently. And I said this on another podcast, but hey, everybody don't watch this, all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you get this one. So as I said, we homeschool, so I'm an entrepreneur as a teacher too,
Mhm.
right? And so I said, listen, y'all can have whatever amount of time y'all want to play video games. All
Mhm.
right. Yeah, it's y'all time. When I say video game, I say y'all have free time. It's your time.
Right. Right.
Okay. Because typically they only have 1 hour during school day and they have 2 hours on the weekends.
Okay.
Okay. For screen time. And I said, but I'm telling you, if you don't operate it correctly, I'm taking it back.
All right.
Okay. So I'm giving you this freedom. Bruh. It's like I never told them that I would have to take it and do something with it. It's like they never heard that.
Like, Dad, you did what? What you talking about?
So they was on the computer for like
Uh-huh.
6 to 8 hours.
Oh wow.
I ain't say nothing.
Yeah.
I waited to the end. I think 2 days went by, 2 3
Uh-huh.
days. I think I may have told them on Wednesday. I
Yeah.
said, y'all know I'm gonna have to do something with y'all time, right? Because y'all didn't really do well with it.
Right.
Y'all had the freedom,
Uh-huh.
and look what you chose to do with it. And so they was like, yeah, I remember. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They remember. So that's what I'm saying. I say, see, this is why I have to give you structure
Have to. Have to.
because you are unable to provide it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what God did to us, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we have freedoms, but look
Right.
what it looked like when we operate with our freedom. You
Not good.
have to be mature, right?
Right.
In that regard. Yeah. So
Yeah.
go ahead. You about to say
I'm with
something?
you on I'm with you on the screen time with that. So I have to do my son the same way. Like I said, if we don't, he'll stay on it all day. So we actually got a set time that's gonna cut off on him because if not, he'll be on it all day. He'll fall asleep with it. Oh, wait back up. Let's get back on. Nah.
Bro, you know what's crazy about that too? Like you knew you was going to sleep.
Yeah.
You knew you was gonna go sleep. Hey, hey, when you rock back,
Lean with it,
that's
rock
crazy.
with it.
That's crazy. So okay, so you have your ages are 20,
20, 11, and
11,
4.
and 4. Okay, so what are some of the differences that you have seen in your parenting style between the three?
Definitely, just in between the first one, it's kind of like a trial run. You just kind of
That's so bad.
you just kind
But
of
it's
finding your way, right? You just
yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
to think of a good example. I can't think of nothing right off. It may come to me, but that first
Okay.
one is kind of like a trial. Uh,
Yeah.
so even like up to now, we have one in college and one starting preschool, and we was telling our oldest one, hey Carson, like you're the example on how we're gonna be with our other two. So
Mm.
as you go, we kind of learning and making adjustments as we go. So, but we want you to stay on this straight and narrow now. So every now and then he'll get off the path, which is to be expected. But for the most part, he's been pretty good. But just
Yeah.
just to go through everything one time, and you have another time just to correct it or find a better way of doing things. The second or
Mhm.
third time is just that experience itself is definitely helpful.
Yeah, I would say for me, the first kid is an experimentation.
Right.
I agree with that. It's especially when you pack in a bag.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That packing a bag is like you taking the house with you.
Exactly.
And then the second kid, he's like, oh, you just need Pampers and something to eat. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? To change your clothes and some wipes.
Right. Need some Cheetos in this bag, some to drink. And I change the clothes. We ready, right?
So for me, that when I that's what comes to mind when I was thinking, okay, man, we did not need all of this stuff.
Right.
However, because we were so inexperienced, We was
Mm-hmm.
just like, listen, we're gonna bring everything that we can and make sure that we good so we won't have to go buy something else.
Definitely.
Second kid, you like, hey, listen, you good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You crying. Okay. We know, but you just
Yeah.
crying to be crying. You know what I
That's
mean?
it. You're gonna be all right.
Got my 3-year-old, right?
Uh-huh.
She pretty, but she's a pretty child, right?
Yeah.
And people tell her all the time. And so she tries to use that, with the daddy. Listen, it was 3 before you. That's what I tell her.
Not
That's
gonna
what I
work.
tell. It ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? You should have came early. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely,
then
man.
you would have been able to do it. So you
Might
know,
could have got away with that, but right now, nah. I've
not,
seen that face before.
I
I already know that face. I already
already
know.
know. I already know. So
Right.
yeah, man. So yeah, that's what I've learned that also being able to know, I guess, their love language, to
Mm.
know what it is that makes them tick, what it is that will encourage them, what it
Mm-hmm.
is that will, allow them to know that you love them and
Mm-hmm.
how you got to speak to them. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So case in point for me, with my daughter, I remember this one time specifically. I was yelling at her. We was practicing softball. I was yelling. I was
Mm-hmm.
going in, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, I feel like I'm too hard. Got in the car, and I was like, man, I'm sorry for yelling at you. Yeah, yeah. And she was like,
Right.
I didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like you was yelling at me. You were just trying to make me better.
Right.
It's like really? Oh, okay. Then my Joshua, he's like, he I yelled at him, he's the boy, and so I get at him. Well, when his coach yelled at him, I said, it was that did that bother you? And he's like, no, because I'm used to it. You know what I'm saying? So I said,
Definitely.
okay. I said, okay. But I cannot do that to my 7-year-old. Yelling just is not effective with him. It
Yeah.
has to be a civilized conversation.
Okay.
A, B, C. This is why you getting you getting about to get this discipline. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You're
And
not even
so
hearing the other stuff when you yell.
he'll literally shut down, and
Mm.
he'll take a whipping because he not about you talking loud at him. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And then my 3-year-old, just trying to figure out like what it is that she's gonna respond to. And I think
Mm-hmm.
for her, it's the time that you're talking about. Since her mom passed, who was the nurturer, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I have to try to be that,
Right.
and it's a challenge for me. But whenever I am the most nurturing to her, her
Mm-hmm.
discipline me it's not as hard to discipline her.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm not uh as present,
Mm-hmm.
it's harder. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is for me.
Definitely, like I said, trying to figure out that love language. Like my first one, he was all into sports, so I can kind of relate to that, you know. But
Mhm.
my second one, he plays soccer, but he's really not into a whole lot of sports. Yeah, he's more into like the music, the keyboards, the drums. So I think he may be some type of musician or something like
That's
that.
cool.
So that's a kind of different for me because everybody in my family, we all play sports of some kind. But
Mm,
that's just like totally different for me. For
yeah,
just like, hey, what else can you find in common to relate with him besides sports? So
yeah,
it's definitely challenging me, and it's definitely something that we're working on to be able to relate to him. Besides, because the world is not sports, right? Uh, not everything.
it's not.
So there's definitely a lot more stuff out there to the world than just sports. So that's definitely something we've been working on and looking forward to learning.
We saw that during COVID, right? Due to see like sports is not what
Shut
it
down.
is. Like even some people say, "Hey, I'm not even going back to watching it." That's
Wow.
They did.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
did. It's like,
yeah,
I was missing it. Oh, I guess I wasn't.
yeah.
It was just something that was something that I felt like I needed, not something that I
Hmm.
actually needed. So absolutely,
Absolutely.
that's for me. My they like sports.
Hmm.
my they like the sport that they're playing. They don't even watch it.
Yeah.
My daughter doesn't watch any sports. She's a reader. So
Uh-huh.
much of a reader, bro. I had to. It's crazy, but so much of a reader. I had to when I was trying to punish her. I
Uh-huh.
had to make her punishment not be reading.
Wow.
I
She
mean,
loves reading like that.
like,
You
because
can't,
I.
no reading today. Watch TV.
So what it was that I said, well, she had got her screen time taken away from her. She
Uh-huh.
loves playing video games. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. And she's like, I don't understand why girls don't like video games. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's what she says. And so I took the screen time away from her, and she'll go and read. Like she reads novels, right?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so she reads 5 or 6 books a week.
How old is
Okay,
she?
she's 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been an avid reader since 5.
Uh-huh.
When she started learning how to read, she was like, "Oh, okay, this puts me in a different world. I like this." And so she's been,
And she
and that's
has
also
imagination. Yes.
yes, yeah, yeah. And so I was like, okay, is that bad to punish her for not reading? Like I was trying to figure out
Yeah.
because by this point in time, I couldn't put my hands on her because she's a girl, right? I don't
Right.
want. And Jim was like, I don't whoop her because you don't want her to think it's okay. Okay, so what is the punishment? You know, what
Right.
I'm saying? Because if I take TV away, she's just gonna go read a book,
That's
and
it.
she will literally read a book the entire time, right?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So with the discipline of my others, like Joshua, it doesn't really matter. Like he doesn't get in trouble as much because he doesn't want to be in trouble. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So he's pretty much thinking about what he does before he does it, or he's very sneaky. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Either one, right?
Right.
With Ethan, like I said, it got to be wall sits or something. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Oh, bruh, after 20
Wow.
seconds, after 20, yes, after 20 seconds, bruh, he looking at. I said, listen, don't look at me. You know what I'm saying? Don't look at me, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is your fault. This
Yeah.
is your fault. so, so, like, how do you deal with, for you, how do you decide on how you discipline a kid?
I think it's just the way I was disciplined.
Mm,
Like I said, not sparing the rod, and I think it's to a certain extent,
right.
that like each child is different. Like you said, you may can raise your voice for another one, and for one, but then like I said, you might have to just talk to another one. But I think just starting out and just trying different ways, and you'll figure it out. You'll figure out what they respond to the most. So I
Yeah.
think that you start out with what you think is right, but then I think you should adjust as you learn your child more.
Yeah. And then consistency.
Yes.
You definitely want to be consistent when it comes to discipline for sure.
Hmm.
So right now, having these different stages of children, what have you like, learned about yourself the most, or some of the things you've learned being at these different stages? I'm talking you because it's college, then almost middle school, or middle school, and then preschool. So what
Just
have you learned
thinking,
about yourself?
just thinking about, and they go by so fast,
Mm,
and just trying to be present in that moment, um, because like I said, we can remember when he was just starting preschool, but now he's in college right now.
yeah.
Uh, and like I said, just being present in the moment and just spending as much time as I can with him. Just definitely not want to take that time for granted.
That's what's up. I would agree. I mean, so for me, I'm trying to make sure that I'm present as much as possible, and because I haven't really did any of my work, because
Hmm.
I'm having to be with them as much as possible, and sometimes I don't even get to talk to my oldest because she's in the room doing her work, and I'm having to do work with my other two, and then my young one, for her, she needs that time, and it's hard to give it to her. So right now, that's what I'm trying to figure out, how to make sure that I'm doing fine. I asked them this question though. I asked them, I said, "How is Daddy doing?" You know,
Hmm.
like what would you say I need to work on? And they tell me that I'm doing fine. You
Right.
know, and I said, "What do I need to work on?" And they said, "Well." Specifically, Joshua said, "Well, you need to make sure that you're spending time with Jordana."
Hmm.
He said that's the only thing that I could say that you need to work on. And they said that they feel like giving her more time will
Uh-huh.
help her in this one. This is what they also told me. They said, uh, what did I ask them? I asked them, do they think that I can't remember the question, but Gianna said that she feels like I'm harder on the boys,
Okay.
or patient. I think the word was patient. Is what
Okay.
it was. Am I patient? Gianna said yes. You're patient with me and Jordana. You're a lot of patient with Jordana. That's what she
Yeah.
said. And compared to how mommy was, uh, and then I asked Ethan and Joshua, am I patient? And they said, well, medium. You're medium patient.
Medium.
I, I was like, what is medium?
Yeah.
What
You're
is
a lot of
medium?
patience. You medium patient. You know what it is.
What is it? What is medium patient?
You might have a little bit more tolerance. You might have to tell them more than once, but you tell those one time, you know, wow, clock first time.
I think that because I asked G, I say, so what they said? Say, yeah, you react a little quicker to them than you do to us, and so in the example that they gave, I said, so give
Okay.
me an example of patience. She said, uh, she brought up the time when I gave them the freedom. She
Mm,
said you could have told us, you could have given us a stricter punishment or stricter of time,
right.
more than you did, but you didn't. So
Hmm.
that's why I think that you're patient. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
so
very
yeah,
interesting. Were you homeschooled yourself, or did you go to a public
yeah,
school?
I went to a public school. I went to a different school from kindergarten to eighth grade. Yeah.
You went to a different school each year?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. My mom
That
could
was
tell you
probably
she
kind
had.
of tough just changing schools like that, really.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think you really have a chance to form like, a lot of relationships or good
Yeah,
friends if you moving.
yeah, yeah. I didn't have a lot of friends. Yeah, I don't have any childhood friends.
Yeah.
And then when I got to high school, I went to a different high school. It didn't lead, like my middle school didn't lead into my high school. So my coach didn't know that I could hoop. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm having to show him that I could hoop, and
That's
so I had
tough.
to start, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Well, you already know, like coaches had a people already, and
Already.
and the dude
People
that's coming
already
in,
they may pick one guy, two maybe at the most, but pretty much they already seen him in seventh and eighth grade. Like, okay, we got him when he coming up. So that's
and
definitely tough.
and that's trash too that they like that. Like
Yeah,
like
definitely,
how
definitely.
you don't recognize somebody can hoop better than the dude that you like? Like they don't
Yeah.
mean they. So, but but I moved up from B team to A team when district started, and
Man,
I got most improved player. You know what
yeah,
I'm
I'm
saying?
say you kept working then. You kept working.
Yeah, man, I was a beast when I was then. I averaged like 17 points a game on B team.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was a guard. I mean, I was pretty fast, but
Yeah.
nevertheless. So yeah. So did your kids play sports? I know you said your 11-year-old did this year.
Yeah, my oldest one, he played football, basketball, track. The 11-year-old, he tried to play basketball for a while, but I think he was just out there because I was out there. I
Mm.
really know that's why he's out there because I remember it was like maybe I think it might be in the third year. I was like, Reed, hey man, we're about to start basketball practice this year. He was like, Dad, you signed me up again? I was like, oh. I was like, just finish this year. Hey, you don't have to play no more of your own. I'm like, man, I guess, hey,
How did that make you feel?
I ain't gonna make him play. I was hurt. I was hurt by it. But he was out there. He was just wanting to have fun. Hey, he was he was my defensive stopper.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, he was going he was gonna
That's
make sure
funny.
if I told him, hey, don't let him score. Hey, I'm like, I ain't mean don't take him out. You know, wrap him
That's
up a
what
little bit.
that's what's up. Hey, dude, like my kids, hey, they as far as sports is concerned, like they play, like I
Uh-huh.
said, Gianna, she's solid at baseball, at softball, sorry. She plays
Mhm.
center field
Yeah.
and she bats second on her team. And I didn't know that was good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or bad because I didn't play, but she's
Hmm.
been consistent on that. She can get, like I said on the last podcast, she can get it from center field to third.
Wow.
Mid center field to third base, and she could probably throw it home if she actually threw the
She got
ball.
him. She
Like
got
she don't use no hips, bro. She don't bend no knees. I'm like, why don't you bend your knees to throw the ball? Like I don't
yeah, just
understand. You know. and then Joshua, like he's just a natural athlete. Like he at football, when he got to play tackle football, he had been wanting to play tackle since he was 5, but he
right.
didn't get to play until he was like 9. And when
Mhm.
he got to play, he thought it was Christmas. When he got his pass, bro, he thought it was Christmas. And
Wow,
so he played. So he was. I'm sorry, he was 8. So he played 4 different positions on this one team.
man.
He played left tackle. He played second string running back, but he should have been starting. But the kid wouldn't have got to play. And then
Mhm.
he played tight end when they ran the quarterback bootleg, and then he played wide receiver when they went trips.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah, on 8, bro. At 8, they doing trips and they doing quarterback rollout, right?
that's crazy.
Yeah, and so yeah, he was being recruited to play running back for another team.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was like, I like baseball,
Yeah.
and so he plays catcher now. He took
Wow.
somebody's position at catcher.
Yeah.
so
All right.
so
Yeah.
yeah, and he this past season he was number 1 in batting on his team
Man,
out of like 14 kids. Yeah,
I
it's
played
like,
baseball
dude,
a little bit, but I couldn't hit.
yeah, and it's like he batted like 6th or 7th, and he
Wow.
still had most hits. And
Yeah.
it's kid pitching, and the
Yeah.
kids, you know what I'm saying, they don't throw really good pitches.
Right.
And so
Oh, not the
he only
ball.
got 1 out, I think. Yeah, he got a good eye. He got a really good eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ethan, he's kind of fluctuating between the skill of sports because he's so tall. He only his coordination not just there yet, but he's
Mhm.
a good defender. Like he can get the ground ball and get it to first or second. He
Wow.
knows which base is supposed to go to if somebody's on base. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
He a
Yeah.
handyman.
Yeah. So sports, yeah, we do that, but I use it as a teaching tool for
Okay.
life. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? About practice. And
Right.
some kids don't want to go to practice. And I tell you, like you gonna practice how you're gonna play like you practice.
That's it.
And it's the same in your work life, right? So, if you don't work hard here, then how you gonna work hard over here? It's not an on and off switch.
No, you can't just turn it on. And I think me and my coworker was talking about this today. I think people who played on teams or maybe even in the band or a part of something like that, I think they're better workers because they're used to working
Mm,
together as a unit, and helping each other out. So I think just having that experience when you're younger and used to being around other people and working together, I think that help you out, when you start working on in real life.
I listen. I didn't think about that. Okay, so if I
Hmm.
played, I'm trying to think about people that played on teams,
Hmm.
and then those that um, excelled on
Hmm.
teams. Like their mindset is different.
It's different.
The mindset, as far as like, they don't really have a quitter's mindset.
Right.
Yeah,
And another thing,
I'm just that makes sense. Go ahead.
even if you say like you didn't like somebody on your team, but when you got out there, you was gonna at least play together for that time to try to win. So I think you might like get along with everybody at your
Mhm.
job, but you gonna come together just to get it done if you have to. So I think it's a lot of teaching lessons in sports. And I don't think Reed really plays sports just because like he likes to win, but I think it's more the camaraderie and just being
Mm,
around his friends and having a good time. But I don't know
yeah,
what.
but that's good though. To that was the reason why we wanted Gianna to play some type of sport
Mhm.
because we wanted her to be around other girls,
Right.
and also be out, get some workout in and not just sitting and reading because
There you go.
that's what she was going to be doing. That's what she was doing, was just sitting and reading. And nothing's wrong with sitting and reading, but
Right.
just sitting and reading.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah. Like I said, just throwing out the obvious, like I said, just the physical exercise, just getting up off the couch and burning some calories.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I enjoy talking about sports with a dad that plays sports. You
Hmm.
know, because you can see you can see how the coach parents the kids as well. And if they're a good coach, you can pick up some of the things that they're putting on. You know how is your kid responding to that coach,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe see what you are doing wrong or right through them. Have you ever seen that for you?
A lot of times I think that the kids may respond better to a coach than their actual parent. You know,
Okay,
I guess because they're there with you all the time, and you know maybe harping on something, but they maybe hear from a different perspective. You know, they may be better to accept it sometimes. Not all
that
the
makes
time,
sense.
but a lot of times.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what's up. So we're gonna get ready and get to these questions, bro. You
All
ready?
right.
Yeah, there's some good questions and there's some interesting questions, but nevertheless, they're get to know you questions. All right.
Okay.
So give me a number between 1 and 45.
40. How'd you come up with 45?
All I did was type in questions to ask your dad, and it's 45. There's
It's
another one
45.
that has 100,
Okay.
but I just stick with this one for the time being. What do you think of your grandfather?
I think he was probably one of the first entrepreneurs that I thought about or that I known.
Mm,
So when I was growing up, he had his own grocery store business. He had rental property. He had like a pool hall. So he was teaching me way back then, and I didn't even know I was learning. I was like,
wow.
man, if we would have kept all those properties Granddad had, I can remember when we was coming up, and my mom and my uncles and them, they were trying to decide what they were going to do with them. I was like, well, I'm not going to be here. We just sell them off. I'm not going. They, you know, everybody was kind of moving out of town. You know, this person there. I'm like, man, Granddad was
Wow.
teaching me right then, back in the day.
Wow. Wow. So virtual. They could have had a virtual
Virtual teaching,
business.
and I would hear stories about my granddad. He worked at a he also had a job at Daybright where they made like the light bulbs, and he would actually loan people money out and charge them interest. Man, he had a whole little side business going at his job, man. He's had
That's what
a
that's
little book,
dope. Listen,
everything.
I want to do that. Like I want to do that. Like I gotta figure
He
out
would
how
loan
to
people
do that.
out, charge them interest.
I'm talking about for real. Like I want to do that next year. Like for
Absolutely,
real.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Because literally I've been thinking about that for about a year, but I just haven't figured out how to do it yet.
yeah.
That's what's up. Okay. Yeah. Loaning people money and charging them interest. I
And,
mean, that's what
and
people be
he
doing
was
out here.
definitely, like I said, a man of faith. I can remember every Sunday morning, my granddad he would come by, load us all up in his car, and we would go to church and Sunday school. I can remember he had diabetes, so his vision got bad, and we would all sit around and we would read the Sunday school lesson to him, and we would just have discussions about the Bible. So, hey, I think he just played a huge part in our lives.
This is not on the paper, but I wanted to ask you, how do you balance being a husband, a dad, and an entrepreneur, and also a full time job? Like, how do you do that?
Um, I think it. Everybody talks about work life balance,
Hmm.
but I think for a while you just have to be unbalanced. Um, you just gotta, as I say, go on the ground for a few years, and then you got to be unbalanced for a few years just to achieve your goals, to accomplish what you're trying to do. And then once you get that, up to par, and where you want it, maybe have it set on autopilot. And then I think you can kind of refocus back on some of those other things that you were lacking. But I think you do have to have a lot of support for you to be able to go out, be able to do those things. But I think you just have to be unbalanced for a little while.
That's a good answer. I like that. Okay, give me another number.
Um, 25.
How many children did you want to have when you were younger?
Two.
Really?
I just thought two was the perfect number. But hey, we said otherwise, and now my wife be like, you think we should have had one more? I'm like, oh no, it's too late now. It's over with.
Did you say it's too late? It's over with.
It's over with. It's over with now.
That's funny.
But
Yeah,
two,
when we
two,
had
two was my ideal number.
okay, when we did marriage counseling, and he asked us how many did we want to have, I said one.
One.
I said one.
Hey, but it changed as you went along, right?
It changed regardless of what I.
or you had somebody convincing you to do otherwise.
Yeah, and Jen wanted three,
Wow.
so we just basically added our numbers together. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
You got one and she got three, so there you go. Everybody happy.
100%. Give me the last number.
um, 20.
When did your wife tell you that she was pregnant? Like, what was your reaction? You told me
When?
about it, but like when? Yeah.
Yeah. So we had been trying. It didn't even take long, maybe about a couple months, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as she found out, 4 or 5 weeks, whatever. It was pretty early on. So like I said, it was really exciting, and it was just exciting for me to just to be able to be there with
Mm-hmm.
her step by step throughout that whole process. It was definitely a humbling experience.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a humble for sure. It's definitely a humble experience. All right. So I got you finna say something?
No, no.
Okay, you got two more questions. Which
Okay.
TV dad do you say that you have similar characteristics with? It could be either past or present.
TV dad. Man, the person keep coming to my mind is I guess Fresh Prince, Philip Banks.
Man,
Uh,
people love Philip Banks, bro.
I guess because we grew up on Fresh Prince.
Maybe so.
Is the only person I can really think of.
Okay.
Trying to think of some similarities. Maybe I guess since he took in Will, so for a little while, my nephew stayed with me till my brother moved back in town for like a year or so. So
Mm,
I think maybe we're similar in that way to hey to be able to just to show love to somebody that's not your actual biological child and take them in and love them and raise them just like your own.
that's what's up, man. Well, I appreciate that. And this the last question is, how would you want your kids to remember you? What would you want them to say about you? About you?
That he loved God, hey he loved us, um, and that he loved family. They say God is love, right?
Yeah,
So how I'm just trying to be as much as likeliness in His image, as much as possible. So to say that he loved us and he cared for us means the world for me.
that's what's up. Well, this has been dope, man. I really appreciate it. For all those that out there, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. You know, you can find Ramon. Where can they find you, Ramon?
On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Ramon Gary. Um, just hit me up. Hey, we'd like to connect with you, and let's do some big things.
Absolutely, because he's a real estate tycoon soon. You dig? Uh,
Absolutely.
that's what's up. So you have the last words. What would you like to tell the people?
Hey man, just keep God first, and I see you guys at the top because the bottom is way too crowded.
That's what's up. Well, until then, man, we out of here. Deuces.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.